Okay. Where are my other glasses? It's too loud. I feel like it's a little too loud. Yo, what's up, Smelly? How's it going, Doug? How's it going, homie? How's your day? I missed you too, man. Yeah, like I haven't been live in a while. What'd you think of that collab? What'd you think of that collab with Atlas Thugged? I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed the discussion. What's up, SSB? How's it going? Vibing outside today was nice. Just ran around town. Cool. It was a nice day here too. It went well. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Atlas is a really great guy. So that was a good collab. Gang's all here. Bro thinks of you highly. W. Oh, what's up, Atlas? How's it going, Doug? Speaking of the devil, we were just talking about you. Yeah, man. That was a great. I really enjoyed that collab. That was awesome. Great conversation. Yeah, that was really good. Enjoyed that a lot. Europeans are jealous of the infrastructure here. Yeah, true. Imagine not having AC. Imagine not having air conditioning. 9 days. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know. It's been okay. Well, yeah. I can't even say it. I can't even defend myself. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. I can't even defend myself. And by the way, with Smelly as a fan, I thought you would have been retarded, but I was surprised. Yeah. Kind of true. That's kind of true. Yeah. Yeah, you clocked it. Yeah, it was a great combo. I enjoyed that a lot. Smelly catching strays. He's catching strays. Yeah. I haven't been live in like a little over a week. Like I said, I don't even have a good excuse, dude. Okay. Just hear me out. Hear me out. I've been a little addicted to Destiny 2. You can see half my tabs are, so all the time I could be spent streaming, I've just been playing with Destiny with my friends, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great update. Best, and I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with the game. But yeah, I can't even lie. I can't even lie. Full transparency. I know. I know. I've got a problem. Is what it is. Anyway, Michelle Obama's man. But where did that come from? Who brought up Michael? What? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Michelle Obama a man? Might as well be. That is one. I kind of like the narrative that she's not. And that, like, Obama just married a really ugly woman. I don't know. It's like if she's a man, whatever, that almost gives it like him a convenient out. Either way, chopped. I've seen the whole like conspiracy and the comparisons to excuse me, who's the other couple that people accuse Sasha and Malia of being the biological children of. I can't remember. It's not fresh in my memory. Yeah. Sorry, Smelly, you had to. Yeah, true. Oh, you didn't hear what happened in the White House yesterday? No. I didn't. What in particular? There's actually in this past week there was actually a number of things to talk about between like obviously the war in Iran, which probably more of the same. If anything at this point, it is just highly likely that, because another angle to look at this is Iran literally has to do, for the most part, nothing and win to win, because the longer this goes on, the worse it is for America. And so Iran really is playing America and Israel like a fiddle, because they know that the longer this goes on, the worse it is for America, because it hurts the global economy. And it's driving a wedge between Israel and America. It's becoming a real problem. And you might say it's not a real wedge, but just the mere fact that the White House has to plant these stories about, you know, Trump is furious at Netanyahu, just indicates that it is actually driving a wedge. I just get this note. Anyway, do you guys hear those? I should have put my Discord stream. Whatever. What was I saying? So I'm not particularly hopeful that this is the one, this is the deal, but I think for all of the hardliners and warmongers in Israel, I do think there is, you know, a faction of Israelis that maybe take a more realistic approach. Okay, maybe we can't actually achieve all our goals in Iran, so maybe we do have to recalibrate. And the way Israel would do that as a nation would pretty much to be throw Netanyahu under the bus, because there are Israelis that want regime change in Israel. You know, it's not all like Hoodniks. So we were hoping you had the text that will be signed on Friday. What? What, me? Oh yeah, that's just my... The hell is that? Oh, it's just my friend. My friend posting Destiny shit. That's... yeah. Yeah, Destiny. But anyway, not to get derailed too quickly. So, that's kind of the situation in Iran. To me, maybe I'm being pessimistic, but it does just feel like more of the same. It does just feel like... Because again, like, the markets are up, the markets believe it's true, so it's just like more, but they all believe it's true. They've never not believed it's true, so it's just more market manipulation, it seems. So I just think it's more the same, personally. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you guys feel the same way? Like, do you guys feel the same way about the whole Iran war? It's just like, a deal is in progress. We're gonna have a deal. Iran said yes to the deal. Iran comes back. We didn't say yes to the deal. And clearly, like, for Iran, Lebanon is a red line. It is a non-negotiable. And obviously, Israel won't agree to that. At least ostensibly. And that is how Israel continues to sink the deal, by just all they have to do is bomb Lebanon. And like, Iran is not, it's very unlikely they're going to sell out their allies in Hezbollah, because Hezbollah exists as a buffer to, you know, it secures Iran's southwestern flank from Israel. It allows them to put leverage on Israel. So doing that would be a mistake to sell them out. That's like actually one of the pieces of leverage Iran has over Israel. You're over at TBH, tired of hearing it? Yeah, me too. Me too. I don't want to drone strike by reading it out loud. So I guess the other big development, I guess we could get into, is the whole Chad Champion saga. I know Smelly I'm sure he can't be more happy that Chad Champion is crashing and burning. How fucking embarrassing, dude. How fucking embarrassing, honestly. Like, who does this guy think he is exactly? Let me pull up. I think Beardson had he had a whole like 8-hour stream, I think. talking about just going through a lot of the chat logs and shit.
This one, but I'm not going to read all the rest. Nick said, posting my docs, reposting attacks on my family, bitching 24/7 about every single thing I do in your group chat, trying to intentionally sabotage stuff I'm doing, and then being like, hey, wait, what happened? Why is everyone mad? So funny that they call it hall monitoring. Like, not really. I just don't want to be associated with people that do that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is, you know? I don't think any one of us here is, like, crying about fucking jokes, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, everybody gives each other shit all the time.
You know what's crazy, though? Do you guys remember, it's honestly sad, man. It's honestly, and on a real note, I of course, I feel for Nick, because I think he genuinely considered Chad Champion one of his closest friends. I remember there was one point in time, you know, he's talking about how he was going through a rough patch, or he was sick, actually, and very sick. And he said one of the only people that texted him to ask if he was good was Chad Champion. And so to see this switch up, or maybe this revelation that Chad Champion was fucking talking shit the whole time behind his back, that's fucking rough, man. That's fucking rough. What the fuck is... Oh, it's Kumquat. He's asking if Israel will restart the war somehow. Do I sell my stocks or hold? What stocks? I don't even know what stocks you have, bro. Kumquat, come in here. Anyway. Beardson with the CRT. I know, dude. Like, physically pains me. Damn, we're all over the place right now. Can I fucking lock in and, like, just stay on topic? I'm kind of scatterbrained today. A little bit, not gonna lie. We're just gonna have fun today. We're just gonna have fun and sort of recap the past week, I think. And we'll lock back in tomorrow. I'll go live tomorrow. We're locking back in. I gotta lock back in. It's been a bit of a rough year so far. Going on? Oy vey. How's it going? There. Do I sell or hold? What stocks? What stocks? It's up right now. Honestly, just, you know, the way the stock market moves with the announcement of a deal, just you know, it's like this. It's like you're just bouncing between it's so over and we're so back. The stock market was up because of the announcement of the deal, like clockwork. A deal is in place, the stock market goes up and up and up because of speculation and probably insider trading too. And so stop going to go to the gym. Meditation. What are you telling me? Will Israel do some stuff? Will they let it happen? They'll probably do some stuff, but like as far as Netanyahu is concerned, kind of do or die, right? If the war ends, there's a good chance he'll go to prison. There'll probably be a regime change in Israel, and he'll be shit out of luck. Because there are Israelis that are not happy with how this is being handled. And I think there are some realists that believe that, you know, maybe they can't achieve their objectives with Iran. Maybe they can't get regime change. Maybe they can't completely denuclearize them. Maybe they can't, you know, deconstruct Iran as a regional power. And so maybe they have to begin hedging their bets, change of strategy, because it is true they are burning a lot of goodwill with the rest of the world. And so there is a sort of realist position. Because they do have global ambitions, and in order to be a global power, you need to have global relationships. And if the entire world fucking hates you, it's going to be hard to do that. And so throwing Netanyahu under the bus would be a way that they could sort of get like a fresh start with the rest of the world. And I don't think that's the most likely outcome, but holy Yap seller. Okay. What stocks are you holding? What stocks do you have? If you have fucking Lego stocks, how is that? I don't, you know what I mean? Like, give me a little more to go off of. Anyway. Well, let me catch up here. Yeah. Fuck CC, yeah, for real. Texas is happy with higher energy prices. They're making deals, bigly deals. Yeah, I mean, and we said this like on the onset, like there are factions that are happy about this, Texas Energy being one of them. There's an opportunity where, you know, US energy can benefit from this war. And that is something like, you know, obviously we are against the war, but there's a silver lining there where US energy could seek to benefit, and we can reinvest in ourselves if we had a smart administration. Let's see, will they let it happen? Wake up at 5 a.m. Yeah, thanks for the advice, SSP. Yeah, eat raw meat, eat raw eggs. You know, I wake up at 5 a.m. hard, and I stay hard all day because I'm ex-Navy SEAL. Ex-Navy SEAL. First workout begins 3:30 a.m. 30 minutes before I wake up because I'm hard all the time. You thought I'm sleeping? I'm doing reps in my dreams. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Hawker? How's it going? Never goon. Yeah, never goon. Don't buy puts on energy. New MAGA turned on Trump real quick. Isn't that funny? Yeah, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? You got, you know, the biggest Trump cheerleaders with Mark Levin and like Laura Loomer, and they're doing tricks on it when Trump is you know, tough on Iran. But the moment there's a talk of a deal, I don't know. I don't recognize this Trump. I don't know what Trump is doing. This is not the Trump that I supported. It's like, wow. Yeah, that's yeah, you hear a lot of Americans that sound that way. You hear a lot of Americans that make it's so clear Israel is the issue that they only care about. That is their chief concern. You know, that is, could it be more obvious? I know it's obvious to us, but like seriously. No. I'm good. Good night. Good night. I'm unironically waking up at 5 in the morning to beat the fuck out of people for my workout. W. Good luck. Have fun. I like how, Kumquat, I ask you what stocks to sell or hold. How am I supposed to give you advice? Not financial advice, by the way. Doesn't help me at all. Iran isn't doing tolls, just fees. Yeah, it's a distinction without a difference. It's the same shit. Like, you know, what do you mean the strait is closed? The strait's always been open. We make sure the strait is open, but Iran better open the strait or else. What? We're not going to let them control the strait. But, you know, it's okay if they, they're just going to charge some environmental fees. It's like, okay, well, potato fucking potato. You're all in on Lego? Look, I don't know, man. It's, if I were a betting man, I would say Israel does not let the deal go through. I think that, like, if nothing else, just the politics of Israel in and of itself, I don't think that they want to relinquish power. They need the war to continue on. They want to achieve their objectives. Otherwise, like what will all of this be for? Like they do have this sunk cost where they blew up their neighbors, they turned the world against them, they accelerated the declining support for Israel in the West. And then they're not going to achieve their goal in toppling Iran. Because the longer this goes on, it's like they're saying, like, fuck it. If we're taking all these international L's in our public image, we might as well just go full force and pick everything we can. And so if they don't make real gains in that regard, then what will all of this be for? And I think they know a lot of them will go to prison forever. I think that's a real likelihood as soon as this war ends, or as soon as there's, because it is an election year. And that's why I think it's not unlikely. I hate saying this. But it's not unlikely we see some false flag here, maybe even in Israel. That would be the pretense for extreme escalation in Iran. So, because they are running out of time. The midterms are coming up here in America. Democrats win. They're going to shut down the Trump government. It's going to be very hard for this administration to do anything with the Democrats having oversight powers in the House. So, that's a major roadblock. But again, it's I hate saying it, but a false flag would solve a lot of their problems. Anyway. New MAGA said I was a panicking. I had to support Trump 100% no matter what. Clearly they don't take their own advice because they're a bunch of Israeli hypocrites. Very true. Everybody better back Trump when he's doing everything Israel wants, but the second it ostensibly appears that he's not just a shill for Israel and Netanyahu or whatever, then all of a sudden it's what is Trump doing? This is not the Trump I supported. What happened? Whoa, you're sounding like a panicking now, Mark Levin. You're sounding like a panicking. I thought you were a plan truster. But these people are obviously inconsistent and hold double standards. All in on Lego. All right, I'll sell all. Thank you. Fuck it, dude. Yeah, just sell Lego. Actually, I mean, if you're really curious, I mean, I do wonder where does, because Lego's obviously it's all plastic. Plastic is a product of oil. I do wonder where they source their materials from. If anything, like this war probably would increase the price of Lego production. But the thing about Legos is they have such a massive profit margin already. It's like, dude, it's literal. Like how much does it realistically cost to produce a Lego set? We're talking like maybe it's like cents on the dollar. It's all, they have all the molds cast. They just, inject different chemical mixtures for color. They print the faces on the minifigs and certain blocks. It's like, it cannot be that complicated or expensive of a process. And then they sell these chunks of plastic for like, $500 fucking dollars. Here's your Death Star 2, $899 US that probably costed them like, $20 bucks to manufacture. So I think that their profit margins would be fine. Fucking Legos, man. Bunch of bullshit. They'll probably be fine. They'll just eat the losses, I think. Like, the markup is already insane on Legos. Because I think the way they look at it is, what competitors do they have? Mega Bloks? If you had Mega Bloks as a kid instead of Legos, like, your childhood sucked. Like, real. So, like, Legos just has all the name brand recognition. And I think the way they look at it is, like, cost per hour of fun. You know what I mean? Versus the product itself. That's how they're selling it. It takes you, like, for something complicated like Death Star 2, it could take you, I don't know, a few hours to make. If you're a kid, maybe even longer, and then you play with the fucking thing. So that's probably how they're looking at it, how they justify the cost of something like that. But it's crazy expensive now. I used to love Legos, especially Star Wars, more specific to Clone Wars. Halo Mega Bloks are dope. Okay, yeah, that is true. I did have a few Halo Mega Bloks. Yeah, I had a friend. He had a huge Star Wars Lego collection. He had the AT... What was it? What's the Clone Wars AT-AT? He had the fucking gunship. I'll go over to his house and we'd play with the Legos. I had like a big Lego castle. That was cool. That was really cool. The medieval Lego sets. That was pretty fun. Replaced their oil profits with Lego edits. That is, yeah, that's actually kind of good. ATTE, that's right. Yeah, he had one of those. So, I would go over to his house. You know, he lived like down the block. We'd hang out all the time. We were good friends, and we'd play Nerf guns and shit. Yeah, good times, man. He was Jewish, by the way. Jewish kid. Good guy. Yeah, I remember going to his bar mitzvah. 7th grade, it was just like bar mitzvahs every fucking weekend, man, I swear. Crazy. Gen Xers are passing on their Lego collection to the kids or family, or reselling. Lego is competing against its old supply. That's a good point. How do you sell something you've already sold? You know? But it's also so easy to lose one Lego brick and it just fucks your whole build. It fucks your whole collection, you know? So, that's crazy. Hey, I'm not, you know. What was my bar mitzvah? Shut the fuck up. No, I'm not Jewish. But I heard those opening lines so many times. You know, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. I'm like, holy shit. I'm sitting there. I'm like, can we just like get to like the dancing part? Can we just get to like the after party? Sitting here, you know, listening to them read the fucking Torah. I'm like, okay. All right. All right. It's just, okay. You know. You just summoned Moloch. Yeah, I just summoned Moloch. I don't even know what the fuck I said, but I sat through so many fucking bar mitzvahs. Just, it's ingrained in my memory, man. I had a lot of Jewish friends growing up. What can I say? Now here I am. Speaker did, no, I never did the Jewish dancing. We would just, what was even popular back then? It was like LMFAO and shit. Middle school, huh? Doing the Drake bar mitzvah dance. Yet. Imagine. Now here I am. Majority of my friends were Hispanic. A lot of my friends were Hispanic, too. So, how can I be so hateful? How can people accuse me of hatred, of being a hateful person? I have friends of all types. My best friend is black. Like, seriously. Unironically, my best friend, you know, I talk to every day. We've been friends since high school. Is black. Great guy. And like all my friends are like Hispanic. You know, it's like that meme. General Racist Kenobi 1488, you're browner than I expected. Oh yeah, shuffling every day, I'm shuffling, yeah. Do they have tunnels over there too, or is that only a New York thing? No tunnels. If there were tunnels, then I was not privy to that. I saw no tunnels. But yeah. You weren't cool enough to be invited? Damn. I know, right? Like, hey guys. Can I be in the tunnels too, you know? Come on, let's sacrifice some children. That's dark. Yeah. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Man, I like growing up, and it was just like every year you had the mandatory discussion about the Holocaust and shit. Like clockwork. Here we go, it's Holocaust week. Here we go. We're watching the documentary. I was over it when I was in middle school. Like my fucking dad was over it too. I remember we had like a German exchange student. And my dad asked her like, hey, do you guys have like the Holocaust education curriculum over there? And she was like, oh, like you would not believe. Like she like rolled her eyes. So it's like, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Anyway. Anne Frank Lego oven. That's crazy. That's crazy. What's the melting point of a Lego minifig? Does anybody know? That's crazy. Imagine Anne Frank Lego set. You got the like, you've got the fucking Nazis with the Sturmgewehr. Hans Landa. You are sheltering enemies of the state, are you not? They're under your floorboards. Jokes. Jokes. We're just having fun. Anyway. Zyklon B gas. Crazy. Wooden doors and everything. No chimney stack. The chimney stack is sold separately. The chimney stack, the Auschwitz chimney, sold separately. So it's a separate collection. It's like, that's weird. There's no chimney, there's no ventilation as part of the set. Why is that sold separately? What's going on? Damn, Lego, really? Crazy. Do you like the Jewish rapper Lil Dicky? I never liked Lil Dicky. He was always fucking annoying. I never liked him. Anyway.
Bro, you know, everybody gives each other shit all the time. But it's like, it gets to a point, you know? It gets to a point.
It's also, okay, the thing about like giving people shit, it's like, here's how like good male relationships, trustworthy male relationships work, okay? You talk shit to each other in public, to each other's faces. You're a, you know, you call each other slurs and whatnot. Fuck you, you're gay. You know, and then as soon as like you part and you're speaking about him in when he's not present, he's like, no, he's actually a really great guy. He's great. You know, you sing their praises when they're not like, that's how you know that's a real friendship. But the fact that like Chad Champion is talking shit in these group chats, that's just who he fucking is. You know, like that really, I think, illuminates the real nature of that friendship. That's some piece of shit type work, you know? So yeah, fuck Chad Champion. Like, who the fuck does he think he is? I know I'm one to talk, but it's like, bro, you're on Rumble streaming to like 50 people. Talking about, you attack my people? Who are your fucking people exactly? And your people also came from AF. Like, you would not be anywhere if it weren't for America First, if it weren't for Nick putting you on. Chad Champion super chatted Nick's show for fucking years. He would do the after show, the Chad Champion Factor or whatever. It's like, okay, so it's like, you literally rode off of Nick's coattails. Nick did you a fucking solid by putting you on. And now you're biting the hand that feeds. Like, Nick has been incredibly loyal to you. What more do you want from him? Like, what more? I swear, it's like people want Nick to like have them as like his co-streamer or something, or have them as like guests on his fucking stream. It's like, it's just never enough. It's never enough. And that's like it. Like, people are looking to gain something from the friendship. You know, there's jealousy. They always want more. And This has happened so many times. It's never reciprocated. You know? Even when Nick, like, even when these people are a liability to Nick, you know, even when like if Sneeko were an honest person, which obviously he's not. First of all, if he were an honest person, he'd look at his own hypocrisy and say like, yeah, and I don't agree with Islam, but he would say like, yeah, I'm a degenerate, I need to do better, rather than like lie in public about how virtuous he is and just virtue signal all the time. That's haram. Don't be a degen. It's like, bro, you're having threesomes, you're doing drugs and drinking and eating pork, all these things that are haram according to Islam. At least just be fucking honest about it. That's like, so the fact that he's not honest just to me says he's not genuine. You know, but Sneeko would see that, yeah, he's a liability to Nick. Nick took so many slings and arrows for being friends with Sneeko for years. And really, like, what did he get out of that? He just wanted a friend. Sneeko did not have an audience to really give him. The audience he does have sucks. They're like a bunch of dumb third worldists. And if anything, like, Sneeko was propped up by Nick. Sneeko was relevant, more relevant because of Nick. And still, like, he burned that. Rather than saying, like, you know what, Nick, you know, do your own thing because I'm keeping you down or whatever. Rather than saying, like, yeah, I see that you're taking a lot of heat for being friends with me. That's okay. I won't stir the pot. And you know, this is true for people like Ethan Ralph, who was like this total fucking, I mean, what even is Ethan Ralph? Just this like degenerate fat piece of shit. And Nick was trying, you know, he's like talking about optics and you know, having an optical movement and whatnot. And then people were asking like, okay, well, why is Ethan Ralph on your platform? And, you know, Nick would defend Ethan Ralph, and then Ethan Ralph crashed out. It's like, okay, so like, so a lot of people don't know some of this lore, but it's like fucking cyclical with a lot of these people. Jaden McNeil, Ethan Ralph, Baked Alaska, Big Tech, Book Cat. It's like, how many of these fucking Alogs? And so Chad Champion is just, it's like so typical, man. It's just like so typical. Like, loyalty is in such short supply. But yeah, now it's just, yeah, it's up on Chad Champion. Rip Oliver Tree. Yeah, rip Oliver Tree. That's fucking tragic, man. Like CC been thrown out of the Sprinter fan. Yeah, dude, it's just like, okay, have fun with your Apollonia, right? Have fun, whatever, being an eternal contrarian with nothing genuine to say. That's just what, like, I've like gone after Chat Champion before for that, because it's just like, dude, yeah, everything is like post-ironic. I fucking hate that. I hate that. I hate that there are people that just pretend like they're above it all, just everything is draped in sarcasm because they need to hedge everything so that they can say, oh, you thought I was being serious? You're the retard. I was merely pretending to be retarded. You're the idiot because I was being sarcastic. It's like, shut the fuck up and just like be honest, be genuine. I've said this before, but I'm just really tired of rage bait, sarcasm, all of these sardonic quips that people have. It's just like, be genuine, just be straightforward, just say what you mean and mean what you fucking say. And don't get me wrong, we all engage with sarcasm and rage bait from time to time because, you know, it's jokes. But like, a lot of people that I'm noticing this trend, that's just like their total modus operandi. They have one note, one speed, and it's so disingenuous, and it's irritating when people just can't fucking take anything seriously. Like when I'll defend Nick, when Nick engages in rage bait or sarcasm, like he'll, like, at the end of the day, he reels it back in and says, no, here's what we really believe. That's a joke, that's sarcasm. And you do have to say that because otherwise, like, yeah, there are people even sometimes when it seems ridiculous, that aren't going to pick up on the sarcasm, you know? And maybe they will go off and like they will binge watch you for they will marry an OnlyFans whore, you know, they will, you know, I don't know, whatever. And then they're left holding the bag like, wait, you were joking the whole time? I married an OnlyFans whore and you were joking the whole time? I thought we were doing that now. You know what I'm saying? Are you kidding me? I guess you could say that would be a bit of a justified crash out, right? I thought we were fucking with OnlyFans whores, but we're not you know what I'm saying? I suppose that's one of the reasons why we consider sarcasm a venial sin. Because it is, even when it's implied that it's like you're not being honest for like comedic purposes, sometimes that's lost on people. I'm not a fan of Sneeko, but Sneeko did open some doors for Nick. That's true. That is true. And Nick talked about that, but at the point, man, it's like, it is deeper than that. Like, they were friends, and when it mattered the most, Sneeko wasn't there. Like, yes, like Sneeko was a part of the pipeline. I think Zerka actually more than Sneeko. Like, I think it was Zerka that really put Nick on to Fresh and Fit. And then, you know, he had that collab with Sneeko. I don't remember the exact timeline. But yeah, at that point, like, who is Sneeko gonna collab with? You know, he was did he actually collab with Hassan Piker? Was that a real collab? I heard he was planning on it, because during one of the Knicks games or something. But who even fucking cares, man? But that's just so typical. Like, okay, so you're gonna collab with Hassan fucking Piker, like, in this left-right wing alliance. Like, what do you, dude? Hassan Piker thinks that right-wingers are all Nazis and should be killed. Why would we ever align ourselves? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not possible because they want us dead. Why would you even attempt to be allies with somebody that fundamentally hates you and wants you eradicated? Left-right alliance? Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? These people don't want to ally with us. They only want to instrumentalize us when bad things are happening to them. They make these appeals to our ideology, to our principles. You know, well, if you're a free speech advocate, you would be against the banning of Hassan Piker. It's like, well, no, because clearly he has a double standard. He celebrated when right-wingers got banned. Why would we defend him exactly? You know, it's a two-way street. If Hassan acted in good faith and defended Nick and defended right-wingers in any capacity and was vocal against the banning of the censorship of even like Tim Pool, for fuck's sake, then yeah, maybe you can make that argument. But he hasn't. He has nothing nice to say. He's an awful human being, and we should celebrate everything bad that's happening to him. Like, we are not on the same side. People like Hassan are our enemy. So, what's up, Edward? How's it going, dog? Nick did the Euphoria bit pretty hard, though. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Zerka and Veda need to return from the occult. Yeah, the whole numerology shit. Veda, I think even Jimbo was into the numerology stuff. That shit is, do not fuck with that. I said it before, I'll say it again, just avoid that shit. OF girls love groypers. Bro. But I guess that's another thing we should talk about is, dude, you guys see that, like, that one, the latest e-girl that, like, dropped that N-bomb? Elijah Schaefer's new girl? They're tripping out, she said. And everyone was glazing her. Go off, queen. She's perfect. It's like, dude, fuck you people. Like, honestly, all the guys that couldn't see through that, it's like, do you guys not know? It's like, how many times do you need to see the same shit play out? Male only space. No e-girls. She throws a Roman and says the N-bomb. She's perfect. It's like, you guys are fucking stupid. Actual simps. And frankly, actual feminists. Like, why would you platform e-girls in this space knowing everything you're supposed to know about like how e-girls behave and how they change the dynamic of this space? So I'm seeing like a lot of groypers that were celebrating this e-girl. You know, I was outside the Carmelo Anthony courthouse. And keep in mind, dude, what the and fuck Elijah Schaefer for I don't want to, for platforming another e-girl. It's like, okay, so let me get this straight. So you hired this young e-girl, despite you're married and have kids. You end up fucking that e-girl. It all comes out. It blows up your marriage. It blows up your family. It blows up your career. Blew up her career too. I mean, she's at fault as well. But and then you brag about getting your ass eaten by her, and then you hire another e-girl that had to handle King Von's throat goat. So not exactly a race purist trad cat type girl. It's like, okay, man, like, you're just a liability at this point. Like, you made a tremendous fucking mistake that not only fucked up your life, but fucked up your kid's life as well. And then you're doing the exact same thing. Fuck you, dude. And it just makes people like Nick that went to bat for you, because there were a lot of bad faith actors attacking Elijah Schaefer at that point. It makes Nick look bad because you're just a fuck up. You're just like a fuck up, and you're platforming people like this e-whore. And of course she opened up her GoFundMe like the day of. Like, it's just a grift, man. It's a grift. And people like that should not be platformed, should not be supported in this movement in any capacity, who are just in it for the grift. Like you can't make that shit up. So yeah, a lot of these like right-wing misogynist racists are secretly feminists, because the second a woman comes in and says all of these base things and she's obviously grifting, they like bend over backwards to like follow her, platform her, under the guise of what? Like, oh, we've got hot bitches that agree with us. Like, dude, some of you guys are just easy marks, I swear. Actual goyim. Like, you're just getting fleeced, you're just getting finessed. Like, for your own sake, how do you not see that? How do you not see that you're just being like manipulated? How do you not feel kind of scorned by that? Because you look like an idiot by going out and platforming some like e-whore. What are we doing, man? What are we talking about? What are we discussing? So, yeah, Veda was Sneak looking collab with Aladdin. True. Never align with anyone anti-white unless they're Malcolm X. Yeah, man. It's just... And look, same thing. I have the same opinion of like Suleiman, who runs all these Twitter spaces. It's like the guy went on like this anti-white tirade a few years ago, and talking about how white supremacists are like the worst. It's like, okay, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. So, Mello was baited to watching Euphoria. Yeah, that was a rough one. Not gonna lie, that was a rough one. I'll admit that. That was an L. Pretty rough watch. Definitely, I mean, there were some positive elements. It was well shot. I think the narrative was pretty compelling. I think the acting was pretty good for the most part. Soundtrack was pretty good. But yeah, it was like everything else was pretty trash. I don't recommend it. This is what Elijah does. He's consistent. Yeah, it's just like, okay, enough of you. Go away. Because at that point, dude, like, you are a liability. You're hurting whatever movement this is. however you want to define it, whether it's AF or just the broader dissident right wing, you're hurting it. Elijah Schaffer is hurting it, and I just like, okay, it's time for you to go away. I think you've had your chance, and then you're not, he won't even say he's a groiper, even though, like, I think his career would have been cooked, quite frankly, if Nick didn't go to bat for him. And they don't like each other. Nick and Elijah have had a long back and forth. And Nick still went out after that controversy blew up to go and collab with him, try and rehabilitate his career, because Elijah did put Nick on back in the day and paid the price for it. So Nick did reciprocate the loyalty, but it's like, dude, like, okay, I think that's like done. I think that the favors have been reciprocated. I think they're good. They're even. Now whatever Elijah does is on him. And yeah, it's like, and people will always say, oh, Nick is dividing the movement. It's like, what movement do we have exactly here? What movement, like, dividing the movement? What do we even agree with some of these people? Like, Sneeko hates white people. He's not Catholic. He's not Christian. All he does is like take little snipes at white people and Christianity. He's third worldist. He's untrustworthy, disloyal, degenerate. So like, what do we have in common? He's hanging out with left-wing pieces of shit that hate us. What exactly is this disunity exactly? Sounds like people just want us to be like degenerate liberals. That's not who we are. Remember who you are. So, crazy. Biggie picks him up well. Yep, loose women, huh? Loose women desperate for clout are a dime a dozen. Tell me why I'm stuck as a virgin with rage. What kind of question is that? Do you believe Fishback can actually beat Donalds? I don't know. I don't know what the latest polling is saying. I guess the betting markets are a better predictor. It's hard to say. I think, like, I haven't been following it too closely. I don't live in Florida. But I think it's a possibility, yeah. And like the mere fact that they won't post a debate between Donalds and Fishback is telling. Like, come on. Like, they're like, that's, you can accuse the Republicans of rigging that election because of that. So but yeah, I think he can win. I do. Now, is it that the most likely outcome? I'm not so sure. I don't know. But I think it's a real possibility. Fishback has a lot of motion. Donalds, what the fuck does he have? Exactly. So I think Donalds will obviously have a better chance of winning the, like, boomer population that, you know, are totally out to lunch and out of touch. But I think the under, like, 35 crowd are going to be owned by Fishback. So Byron and Donalds can't debate. They're hiding him. They are. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know shit about anything. So I think it's funny that Fishback is, like, leaning in on that. He's calling him DEI. You know, if Byron Donalds wins, he'll open a bunch of Section 8 housing. Like, that's pretty funny. So Tico wears a dress, yeah. You're referencing the smash hit song? There's a song with that. I don't know what song that is. Am I on Kick? I am. I am on Kick. Nick Fuentes also backs Andrew Wilson, with whom he has had a beef in the past. Yeah, and that was a principled stance. Like, and again, like, when that beef with Spencer, when that kicked off, like, a lot of people piled on Andrew Wilson because they don't like him, because maybe they think that Andrew Wilson is, like, optically an L, or because there has been this rift in the past. But the principled stance is, you know, I think is to side with Andrew Wilson in that context. Like, Richard was in the wrong, and like, he crashed out because of it, and I'm almost like, okay, like, dude, grow up, man. Like, you agreed to the terms, you want to change the terms last minute, and then you're gonna attack his wife's dead kid, saying that she was like negligent. I mean, I just like, what? Why? And then you're gonna say, I'm just asking questions, or like, it's just like, dude, come on, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. That's a low blow. You can't stay on topic. Why are you going after? Like, that's just so classless, I think, and unnecessary. Like, if Andrew Wilson took it there, then, you know, sure, free reign. But he didn't. So I think that's just really out of pocket. Andrew Wilson got a weird fan base. I don't really follow his work. Nick kept EMJ for years on Cozy, even though he stabbed Nick in the back. That is also true. Another... I don't even know what that guy's fucking problem is. Just whatever, man. Go away. Go away. And the Andrew Wilson fan base is older tradcons, single mothers, and the Whatever podcast. Bro, the Whatever podcast is just like... What even is the point of that podcast, dude? Just like Fresh and Fit, but somehow, like, it's just, at least, like, you know, Myron does his own thing and he's got his like geopolitical analysis, but it, like, what, you really don't need another podcast that does the same thing Fresh and Fit does. Like, totally ripped off the whole format, but without any of the geopolitical stuff. Like, what even, they're just doing Fresh and Fit, but like cornier. And they've got think about how crazy that is. Like, Fresh and Fit has Fresh. How much cornier can it get? So. Yeah, Noti's on W. My phone is planned obsolescent piece of shit, and I can't watch this fucking stream. What the fuck? I spell it. Damn. Time to upgrade, I guess. I need to, my phone is old. I've got a what do I have? iPhone. It's like 7 years old now. I don't know. I don't really need a new phone. I should probably get one, but anyway. Its point is to promote OnlyFans skeezers. Yeah, people just want to see thoughts. That's kind of it. It's like this weird middle, like, ambivalence where, like, guys simultaneously want these hoes to be humiliated, but they also want a goon. You know what I'm saying? Simultaneously, like, guys, like, want these women to be taken down a notch, but they also want a goon to them. Yeah, what, like, and so it's like, once you've seen one of these podcasts, or a handful of them, you've kind of seen them all. So there's kind of nothing really new to learn from it. By the way, Iran and Trump will sign a deal before we get through this Beardson vid. Okay. All right.
So, yeah, I don't really want to like leak DC or anything, but I felt like that one was important at least to read. There was a few more. I'm not gonna leak like all of them. You know, but
they could have cut off like the last 20 seconds of that clip. Who's doing the clipping here?
This one, you know, but
10 fucking seconds of silence. We had like 30 seconds left on that clip and like nothing new was said. Okay. Oh, dude, the whole the whole Sneeko is gay arc. You guys hear about this? Andrew Tate comes out and says Sneeko is gay. and like tried to fuck him or something. Do I have that in my react to? Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. Bong, bing bong. Here we go.
Seems he's
Andrew Tate. Perhaps we were too harsh on Andrew Tate. Yeah, when women speak, I just roll my eyes in boredom 99% of the time. Yeah.
So it seems he's got himself exposed and all these revelations are going to come to light. So I'm going to tell you a very factual story. I'm not Gossip Girl. I'm not here to insult anyone. I have no personal vendetta against anybody. I'm not mad at anyone who's ever insulted me. I'm just a guy. And I'm just here to tell the version of the story as I lived it. I'm just here to tell the truth. That's it. I'm just going to tell you some facts. A few years ago, there was a streamer, I think everybody knows who I'm talking about, who was obsessed with me. If I got a girl's number on Fresh and Fit, he tried to do the same thing. Every single thing I did, he copied verbatim. He tried to be me, literally be me. He was obsessed with me. And I thought he just wanted to be famous, and that turned out to be a homosexual obsession. He came to Romania with two people who I respect very much, Myron and Fresh, great guys. They managed to convince me to allow him to come. He came there and started acting really fruity and really weird. He started telling me that he had this cuck thing that was exposed. He had this big cuck scandal, and he asked me what I think about cucking and if it's normal to explore your sexuality and if I've ever tried it. And I said, look, I'm older than you, bro, and I've never tried that. I don't think that's normal. And then he started saying, isn't it normal just to try new things? Don't you think it's normal to be curious? How do you know if you're really gay or not unless you've tried being gay? And then I realized he was coming on to me. And when I realized he was coming on to me, I thought the best thing I can do is just not talk to him anymore. Because I don't like this Gossip Girl stuff. I don't want to be a drama merchant like he is. My brand isn't sitting online and constantly insulting other people like his is. So I thought, let me just cut him off. He's obsessed with me. He's a bit weird. I don't want to ruin the guy's career. Let me just go his own separate way. Since then, he has mentioned me every single day in every single stream he does. Andrew Tate wore a gambling t-shirt. Andrew Tate drove a car. Andrew Tate drunk coffee. Andrew Tate this. Andrew Tate that. He is obsessed with me. And if you see the way he talks about me, you can see in his eyes. It's not because he is morally superior. It's not because he just wants clicks. It's a homosexual rage which is suppressed. Guys, I don't like saying this. I feel uncomfortable making this video. I wanted all of this to go away. I just said, no, I'm not gonna fuck you, bro. Get out of here. I just tried to ignore the kid for 5 fucking years. Here we are 5 years later. He won't stop talking about me. And if you watch him do it, guys, watch him do it and look in his eyes while he does it. It is a suppressed homosexual rage. He is enraged. Now he's Muslim LARPing. He's Islam LARPing. Constantly LARPing about Islam while being gay in private and taking drugs in private, as opposed to me, who keeps my faith private and my internet. He keeps his faith on the internet, and in his private life is completely haram. So we can discuss which one of us is the real Muslim if we want to have that conversation. But I live in an Islamic country. I live in Dubai. He lives in New York. You know, he walks around during Pride Month in New York. Guys, I really didn't want to do this video, but it's all coming to light. I woke up this morning with a few text messages from people who know very well saying, is it true that this person does these things? And I'm like, oh, so this is about to blow up all over the internet. I said a long time ago to Sneeko once on one of my emergency meetings, I said, don't come at me, bro, because I could have ruined your career and I didn't. I am the nicest man. If he had this kind of information on anyone else, he'd post the screenshots, he'd sit there like a little girl, he'd do a full breakdown, he'd talk about it for years. I'm the top G, because that's who he is. I've known he's gay forever, and I didn't care. He came on to me, it was weird. It's gonna come out what he's really been up to. You're gonna see he's not a pinnacle of Islam, he's not a pinnacle of morality, he's very far from it. And that's why I had to stop talking to the guy. So, I'm making this video now just to make it clear that I rejected him. I said no. That's why he won't stop talking about me. That's why you can see in his eyes he is so angry. That's why I am the content of his entire life. That's why, because I said no to the kid. I hope he, works it out. I wish him well. No matter how much he insults me, how much he wants to be me, he'll never be me. He's never respected like I am. He'll never achieve the heights of fame that I achieve. He'll never surpass me in any realm, no matter what. So I really, truthfully wish him the best. I didn't want to make this video. I'm only making it because it's all coming to light now, and I want everybody to see that once again, Tate was right. If you see Tate do something, it's because he's right. If you watch my entire career, All I've done is predict the future flawlessly. I stopped talking to him years ago because I knew he was doing drugs. I knew he was gay. I knew he was going to BDSM clubs and doing all this kind of weird shit. I didn't want to be hanging around with some little fruity nigger who was getting tied up by dudes and bumped. I thought that's weird. I ain't hanging around with this guy who's going to sex clubs in New York, getting tied up by dudes and ass fucked. I'm not doing it. So, here's the truth. That's the reason. I'm not going to talk on this again. He's going to tweet about me and talk about it for the next 200 years, and you're going to see the rage in his eyes, the suppressed homosexuality. That's a him problem. I'm busy winning. That's my version of the story. So when you see all this crap come out about him, I rejected him. I said no. And there's going to be some other people who are exposed that perhaps said yes, but I said no.
What do you guys think? It seems dangerous, like a male house cat trying to bang a lion. Yeah, not Tate being be sexing with dudes pretending to be a woman. That is a permanent L. Yeah, that is an L. That is an L. Can't stand Sneaky, but I don't believe he tried to sleep with Tate. If anything, Sneaky was just trying to defend, or I guess promote like his lifestyle or his like fuck fantasies or whatever. Like trying to defend his decisions in the past of like, you know, watching gay porn or going to that sex club and watching his girl get cracked or whatever. All of this degen stuff. That to me is maybe more likely. And maybe this is just Andrew's interpretation of why Sneeko brought that up in the first place, to try and crack Tate, when it could just maybe be Sneeko trying to justify his past decisions, you know? I think that's possible too, but either way, this is pretty funny to me. He didn't want to sleep with him, he wanted to get raped. Crazy. Yeah, not buying Sneeko could think of cracking Tate. Or getting cracked is maybe more likely. What? Wait, was he going to BDSM shit? I don't know where to start with this. I'm more interested in his Russia angle with Candy and Tucker. Well, for starters, I think Tate is, well, he's kind of an international figure. You know, has houses all over the place. I think he has one in Florida, one in Romania. I think he still has one in Dubai. So I think the way he's looking at it is he's just taking deals he thinks benefits him. Similar with Candace and Tucker. But the way that sort of pans out is they're being instrumentalized by foreign countries. If anything, just by taking a softer position on these countries because they were hospitable to them. It's PR. You know, somebody like Candace and Tucker and Tate have enormous platforms, and if they go out in their show and they even just take some more of a neutral position, like, hey guys, like Russia or wherever is not that bad, that's doing a lot to counter State Department propaganda. That does a lot to counter the State Department's position that is very hostile to Russia, or even Ukrainian propaganda, or any of the interest groups that are invested in Ukraine's success over Russia. So that's I think where that's coming from, because it's easy. It's very easy to get roped into that whole thing. It doesn't really cost Russia a lot of money. It's a lot easier and cheaper to buy an influencer, even just by being like hospitable to them, than to like buy a media company. Like CNN costs a lot more than flying out some e-celeb or micro e-celeb for like some event. Look at how many people were glazing Trump because they were like invited to the White House. It literally is that fucking easy sometimes. A lot of these people are not very sophisticated. Their whole career is being an influencer, and they get made to feel a little special for a weekend at the White House or in the Capitol. Ooh, look, I've got a badge. Look, I'm official. And they're made to feel that they're in the in crowd. And then they just by the nature of getting a little bit of glaze, a little bit of hospitality, they start doing tricks on it. It's like fucking, it's just easy. It's just easy publicity. Is Sneeko getting married, or is it a publicity stunt? It was a publicity stunt. The GOAT was sold before he had the chance to marry. That's crazy. If Tucker ran in 2028, he'd probably win. Not saying that I want that, though. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I think he'd win over a lot of the right wing, but I don't know. I think he'll just have the Groiper curse, you know, because Nick is never Tucker. He'd be never Tucker, at least unless some new understanding came to light. Unless Tucker like promises to give us something or something. I'll never say never, but you know, I doubt that America First would back Tucker in any capacity, and I think that we would probably go against that. But I don't think Tucker would necessarily run when he would probably back JD Vance. It would be a major pivot in strategy for them to abandon JD and then pick up somebody like Tucker, where I think Tucker is more useful to them from the outside. And I think everybody knows that. Like, not everybody that's famous and has a platform needs to run for president, because some people are more useful doing what they're doing rather than like being a statesman. Like, Tucker is more useful to the Teal milieu, having one of the biggest podcasts in America, and maybe the most prominent voice in conservative media, than he would being a statesman. And because if anything, it gives him plausible deniability. Like, if he's running the country, now he's responsible for it. If he's on the outside, if he's running a media company, he can always couch everything. You know, he has plausible deniability. If he supports, like, let's say the Vance regime and Vance wins, you know, then he's ultimately like, yeah, he backed that, but he can still criticize the regime from the outside. He can pivot, in other words, and corral the masses to another conclusion, some other candidate or some other destination. He can continue to gatekeep. He can't do that if he's in the White House. So, Putin's B-Day message to Trump was a little over the top. I thought he was being facetious. I don't know what he said. What is a good age to marry? That's just a personal decision. Like, it depends on like, what for men. I mean, just get yourself established first. If that happens when you're 20, great. Get married at 20 or whatever. It also depends on what your trajectory is, you know? If your goal is to run a business or whatever, and you start your business and it's doing well and you've sort of achieved equilibrium at age 20, then go ahead. But you know, you can afford to wait. You can afford to wait till you're 25, you're 30, you're 35, even until you're 40. So you do a little cost benefit analysis on that one. They will push Rubio, not Vance. Vance is cooked. We'll see what happens. There are different factions that want different candidates that are still directionally aligned. Zios will make Rubio the candidate. It's like an East Coast, West Coast thing. You know, a lot of the East Coast Zionists want Rubio, particularly like the Florida milieu, but the West Coast, the Silicon Valley types, the new money, they want JD. So it's literally the biggest difference between them is just whom, like which faction is he going to be a member of, whose people get to run the country. So they may not differ that much on policy, but personnel they will. Vance is waiting for the midterms. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, this administration's not doing well. At least Rubio can say he got the Venezuela W, but like, what does Vance? What has he actually done? What can he say? I think they're hoping that whatever peace talk, whatever deal, negotiation is made, that Vance could be the face of it. To say he ended the war. He was the voice of reason, but he also he's in between a rock and a hard place because he also has to appeal to the Zionist donor base. And they are obviously hardliners. They do not want peace. They do not want any capitulation. But that's kind of the only way we get out of this unscathed, is we just like say, all right, GG's, we're out. We'll take the L. And we're gonna constrain Israel. But that's just very unlikely. So, like, neither party is really willing to budge. And because of that, America and this administration will continue to rack up L's. Because what is the narrative now? We got into this war that's not in our interest. It's hurting us in the global economy. And this administration is incapable of reaching a peace deal. So that will absolutely hurt Vance's reputation. So I don't think the Epstein elites would allow Tucker Carlson to run for president. Yeah, man. I don't think that's not how I would look at it. Forget about the Zios. If the deal with Iran is real, then Vance is cooked. I wouldn't go that far. It's sort of like either way, he's kind of cooked. If the deal goes through, then, you know, obviously the Zionists would not be happy, but he might be able to salvage, you know, some part of the right-wing base that is anti-war. So he'll lose the money, but he could potentially gain in support, in polling. So this whole situation is really fucking his career. So that's a silver lining. That's a white pill, I suppose. But yeah, Epstein elites. It's like, look, what even is Tucker? Like, Tucker is tight with Peter Thiel. Like, he, in that sense, like, don't you think that Tucker is an Epstein elite? Like, don't you think it's more likely an Epstein elite? Like, what does that really even mean? You have names? Do you have a faction? Can you describe who those people are and which interests they represent? That just sounds a little bit like rhetoric. I just don't think Tucker would be interested in running. And maybe he will run, I don't know. But for his own sake, I think he's perfectly content with just being one of the biggest podcasters and influencing politics in that way, and just sort of run or influence things from, you know, outside an official position in the administration. Because then again, he has plausible deniability. That's powerful, actually, to not be tied at the hip to a specific administration. Because then he can act as like the voice of reason that isn't responsible for any kind of debacle that may occur, and then he can convince people what to believe. He's more powerful running his podcast than he would be running the country when they can just get some stooge like JD Vance to do it. Like, that makes way more sense than Tucker running for president. Just because, why? Because he's popular? Should Candace Owens run for president too because she's popular? No. The options will be Vance or Rubio versus who? AOC, Newsom. Majority public would consider Tucker over them, in your opinion. Run for office? No. The options on the left, I think Newsom would consider running. But we'll see. There's still some time. I think maybe like early next year we'll have a much better idea but a lot of people will, I think, have announced by then. But as far as like the right wing, there are potential dark horses. You know, I've heard John McEntee. I've heard his name floated. But I think much of it will be contingent on how the rest of this year shapes up. How this administration continues to conduct itself, and also how the midterms, what the outcome of the midterms are. That will, I think, very much dictate the rhetoric and the opportunity for a dark horse candidate to enter the race. So, it's still contingent. Peter Thiel is an Epstein elite. All our overlords are baby eaters. It's just one faction seasons babies and the other doesn't. Yeah, they're all eating babies. They're all worshipping Moloch and whatnot. It's one faction. There's no nuance. It's just monolithic. Yeah. So, there's no internal competition among the billionaires. They're all on the same team. You put 3 people in a room and you get politics. It doesn't matter who they are. So. Yeah, they're going to Moscow. Very sus, very sus. Hassan Piker is a pedophile. Oh yeah, here's a Jewish co-founder was one of the ones that doxed the Cornell student. Speaking of Peter Thiel, why? Because in his words, if somebody doing this, the Cornell student, by the way, was his messages got leaked. He turned down an offer to work for some company, I think some ID verification company, run by Gabe Einhorn, or Gabe Einhorn was the one that leaked the message. I don't know if it was actually his company that he rejected, that the student rejected. But essentially the student said, yeah, I don't want to work for Jews because of how nepotistic they are and the way they operate. And then Joe Lonsdale and Gabe Einhorn literally prove his point by doxing him, leaking the messages, and essentially ensuring he is unhireable because he said something impolite about Jewish people and how they operate. So literally proving his point. If somebody does this, Joe Lonsdale says, they deserve consequences. The only way a people prevails is with strength. Be a strong Jew. Don't be one of the weaklings that reacts in a way to get us attacked more. Be a man that makes them afraid to attack your people. Literally proving the guy's point. So, yeah, this is the co-founder of Palantir, of which Peter Thiel is also a co-founder of. Does this sound particularly different from like the quote-unquote Epstein elite? Like they're all, this is less West Coast, yet it's still Jewish. This Jewish identity, nepotism and narcissism everywhere. So, just different shades of the same color. Kumquat is our dark horse for 2028. Yeah. If Tucker is possibly CIA, why wouldn't he run? Because he could find somebody else to platform. Like Joe, remember Joe Kent? And it could, because, again, if Tucker himself runs, then like how can he be president and run his propaganda network? Like think about it for 2 seconds. They would find somebody that doesn't have like an opportunity cost that high. Is Tucker Carlson going to do his fucking podcast when he's in the White House saying, I'm just asking questions? Like he's a very effective agent from the outside. He's more effective than he would. Like it's too big of an opportunity cost for him to run for president. Just to run a campaign would be very expensive when he can just run his podcast every day and tell people what to believe. That is like a better strategy. Why would he give up his podcast, of which he's being very successful at, for to take this enormous risk to run for president. I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible that he wouldn't do it, but I think it's very unlikely, and I don't think that's the best course of action for himself and for his faction. I think that would be counterintuitive. Lonsdale is involved in Palantir? Yes. Viva Mexico. Yeah. So, yeah, man, like, you say anything impolite about Jews, they'll make you unhireable. And as for the student, like, look, don't destroy your own prospects. Just infiltrate. If you're gonna turn down an offer for that reason, don't tell them that's why you're turning it down. But there is a silver lining, but it's not worth it. Like, the silver lining is everyone can see that they're just proving his point. And it is a big story. But it also kind of puts them on high alert too, you know? It's sort of like you're playing GTA and you're trying to complete your mission, right? You're trying to complete your mission in GTA. It's going to be a lot harder to complete your mission if you have a 6-star wanted level, you know what I mean? And they got the fucking helicopters, the National Guards rolling in. It's like, yeah, robbing the bank or doing the GTA mission is a lot harder when they're up your fucking ass, when you're on their radar, you know? So keep the wanted level low. This is a sneaking mission, Snake. You got to sneak in. You don't want to put the enemy on high alert if you don't have to. Because you know the score, we know the score, they know the score, but maybe they don't fully understand like how much opposition there is to what they're doing, you know, to them. When they feel threatened, they'll act. When they miscalculate, when they think that there is no opposition or there is no infiltration attempt, then they won't worry about it. But now it's like the last thing we want is for like all of these companies to be on high alert and look at all of their employees and root them out one by one, trying to find the Groiper, trying to find the anti-Semite or whatever. So try to make moves in silence, you know? Yeah. Tucker is America's Grimo Wormtongue. Deep pull. Was that Lord of the Rings? Am I thinking the right thing?
Holy bloat. I know, I'm so bloated.
Yeah, dude, stop. When you get your wisdom teeth pulled, your face is going to be bloated.
Stop reminding me, though.
Because you've got swelling. You literally pulled out... You have wounds in your mouth, you know, so your face is going to be bloated.
Have you ever imagined yourself doing something with a guy?
No.
He's breathing.
I'm done. No. Wallahi, tell him. Wallahi, God strike me that I tell him shit.
I never did until you.
You're fucking.
Why are they censoring gay?
I've been around this. I slept next to you. I literally slept in a bed next to this thing. I'm actually disgusted. No, I'm fucking disgusted, bro. Have you ever watched gay porn?
Bro, he fucking admitted to it.
Take a look. You're
Show it! Oh my god! Have you ever had chlamydia or gonorrhea?
Yes. True. So, bro, girls ask something else. This fucking guy's like ruining every roast.
Have you ever?
That's crazy. Clavicular looks weird now. Well, here he's bloated, but you got a nose job, and I think that's ill-advised. I don't think you should hard max.
Imagine yourself.
It's my own opinion.
Okay, so are you also saying the fact that Kamala Harris didn't release people that were past their sentence?
I don't care about Dean Withers.
Person of the same sex and felt attracted in a sexual way. I'm gonna say, chat, we're being honest. We're being honest. It's happened. Have you ever looked at a person of the same sex and felt attracted
Dude,
in a
yeah,
sexual
it's just like, yeah.
way?
Sneako's gay.
I'm gonna say, chat, we're being honest. We're being honest. It's happened.
Grimo Worm Tongue is Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings is gay and childish. Whoa. Clap's new nose looks weird, I agree. I just think hard maxing, the cosmetic surgery, that's to me beyond the pale. Yeah, that's one of the lines I draw when it comes to like the whole looks maxing stuff. And I think part of it is you do need to have some humility to say, okay, this is the extent of what I can be, you know? That's okay. I do agree with some of the criticisms against like the looks maxing community, that it's like, yeah, look, some things you just can't change, and frankly, some things you shouldn't change, you know? Nick is live. Yeah, I just got the noti. All right, boys. Nick is live. He's gonna talk about Iran. Yeah. Great show. Love you, boys. I'll be live tomorrow. We're locking in. I'll be live tomorrow. We're locking the fuck back in. Okay. Enough. I'm beating my Destiny 2 addiction. Enough. I'm doing it. We're doing this. We're locking back in. We're locking in, okay? I'll be live tomorrow. All right. Yeah, let me just catch up real quick. Anything I missed? Think it's live. Great show. Clavicular surgery backfired, even though wisdom tooth, his jawline is soft. Okay, well that's probably just, that'll go away. He's just bloated because he's swelling. What kind of frog wears different countries' jerseys every different game like Sneaky does? Bro is a non-stop grifter. True. Very true. El Sneeko. Clav is going too far. Good night, chaps. Good night, everybody. Later. Good night. God bless. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Everybody, Nick is going live. I'll see you guys maybe in the live chat. Maybe I'll be replay gang. But I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for hanging out. Take care.